Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on Quantitative Aptitude for your upcoming SBI exams, both SBI PO as well as the SBI Clerks Prelims exams, brought to you by TalentSprint. I hope all of you are in good health and you have kick-start your preparation for these two exams. You have so many resources out there available for you and there's no reason that you should not be able to crack these exams, right? Just work hard, practice, practice and practice. That is the key. Right? Let's get to the discussion now on quantitative aptitude. So today's session, like you all know, is on quantitative aptitude for the SBI exams, both clerks as well as prelims. If you've got a mix of questions, some might be easy, some are difficult. Some are easy for you but may not be easy for others. Some are like difficult for you but could be easy for others. So it's a mix of questions. The idea is to touch base with all these different topics that we have. I'm sure other than these live sessions, you are spending a lot of time practicing different question types and getting through with your concepts. So we can get started now if you are all set. Yes, let's begin. So let's start with some independent questions. We have got questions from, these are like so-called word problems. Sometimes I wonder why are these called word problems, but yeah, questions on time in work, time and distance, the independent topics, right? All 1 mark questions. So let me present the first question to you all. This from time and work. There is no question that you cannot solve. There is no concept that has not been covered in our videos. It's all out there. It's just that you have to go through all the videos, understand all the concepts, stitch the right concepts together for solving a particular question and crack it. As simple as that, right? So nothing is difficult. It's just the application that you need to get in the right way. So presenting the first question to you all, simple one in my view. Let's see how many of you get the right answer. And speed is the key. So do it really quick. We have x minus 3 men who can do a piece of work in x days and x plus 5 men who can do 40% of the same work in x minus 7 days. Then in how many days can x plus 5 men finish the work? Options are in front of you on your screens there. You have, what, 60 seconds? Yeah, 60 seconds should be enough. Your clock starts now. Alright guys, the time is up. I think you guys have spent enough time and I'm honestly disappointed that none of you have got the answer so far. Let's discuss the solution now. Even if you get it now, I think it's of no use because time is over. You cannot be spending so much time for answering a simple question as this one. Here we go. Look at the question. X minus 3 men can do a piece of work in x days. X minus 3 men can do a piece of work in x days and x plus 5 men can do 40% of the same work. So if they're doing W here, these guys are doing only 40% of that work, which is 0.4 W, right? So x plus 5 men can do 40% of the same work, 0.4 W in x minus 7 days. Then in how many days can x plus 5 men finish the work? So it's all very simple, right? Men and days. He's talking about men and days. And we know that work can be measured as number of men into number of days. Work, in simple words, is men into days. Very, very important concept, right? Work is men into days. Let's just do that. What does he say? See, you know the concept of W1 by W2 equals to M1 D1 by M2 D2. That's what we need to apply here. I mean, if I consider two different cases, we can say W1 by W2 equals to M1 D1 by M2 D2, right? Where M1 is number of men in the first case, D1 is number of days in the first case, M2 D2 in the second case respectively. Now don't write all these things in your exam and waste your time. You may ask me, why am I writing this? So that you can follow what I'm doing. But then you should not put these steps on paper. You should directly start with this. W by 0.4 W. Work by 40% of work. W1, W2 equals to M1 D1 by M2 D2. What is M1? X minus 3. What is M2? X. So x minus 3 into x divided by, what is M2? X plus 5. What is D2? X minus 7. That's it. How many variables? Only one variable. What is that variable? X, because W anyway gets cancelled. Strictly speaking, you should not even write W by 0.4 W. Smart people will write 5 by 2. I should know that if this is 1 and at the bottom in the denominator I have only 0.4, 0.4 can be taken as 2 by 5. So 2 by 5 in the denominator will make it 5 by 2 overall. This becomes 5 by 2. Yes or no? 0.4 is nothing but 2 by 5. So 1 by 2 by 5 will be equal to 5 by 2. So you are really smart if you started directly with 5 by 2. And that's what is required in the exam, right? You should say 5 by 2, 5, 40% of 5, right? Or 10 by 4, whatever. 5 by 2 equals to x into x minus 3 by x plus 5 into x minus 7. Now do the cross multiplication. You're getting it? 5 by 2 is this. Now cross multiply. What happens if you cross multiply? We get 5 times of See, x plus 5 into x minus 7, you should directly write this. X squared, 5x and minus 7x will give you minus 2x, minus 35 equals to 2x into x minus 3. So x into x is x squared, so 2x squared, minus 3x into 2 is minus 6x. So you are basically getting a quadratic equation which you need to simplify and solve for x. And that's the way out. You cannot do anything else. Unless you know x, you will not be able to find out the answer to this question here. So do that now. Solve this quadratic equation. 5x squared minus 2x squared, 3x squared. 5 into minus 2x, minus 10x. Minus 10x, this is plus 6x, right? It goes to the other side, plus 6x. Minus 10x plus 6x, minus 4x. 5 into 35 is 175. So minus 175 equals to 0. Again, 3 into 175 is what? 525. Is it? Yes or no? You know how to split this now, right? You have to factorize this quadratic equation, or you can use the formula minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a, whichever is comfortable for you, right? So 5x squared minus 2x squared is 3x squared, minus 10x plus 6x is minus 4x, and this is minus 175. So 3 into 175 is 300 plus 225, 525. I think 525 is 25 into 21. 25 times 21 is 525, yeah? So I can now take it as 3x squared minus 25x plus 21x minus 175. So if I take 3x common, it will get x plus 7. If I take minus 25 common, I get x here plus 7 here. So what's the value of x? See, one value of x is going to be minus 7. What will this lead to? 3x minus 25 into x plus 7 equals to 0. You know that one value of x is going to be minus 7. Can x be minus 7? No. Number of men or number of days cannot be negative. So x cannot be minus 7, which means x has to be what? X should be equal to 25 by 3. Minus 3x minus 25 equals to 0. So x equals to 25 by 3. I am not writing the intermediate steps because that's a waste of time, assuming all of you have followed. You should know how to solve a quadratic equation. The moment you get x equals to 25 by 3, you are done. Now what does he say? In how many days can x plus 5n finish the same work? See, now there is a third case. We already had case 1, case 2, and now case 3. Compare case 3 either with case 1 or case 2. So for example, if you look at case 1 and case 3, x minus 3 men. So 25 by 3 minus 3 men. Again, same thing, w1 by w2 equals 2. Or you know, right, they're doing the same work. X minus 3 men can do a piece of work in x days. Then in how many days can x plus 5 men finish the work? So what do we do? m1 d1 equals to m2 d2, right? When the work is same, we can say m1 d1 equals to m2 d2. So do that. What is m1? X minus 3 men. What is d1? X. What is m2? X plus 5. What is d2? We have to find out. That's the calculation. So next step of the solution is simplify it. So x minus 3 is 25 by 3 minus 3. 25 by 3 minus 3 mentally, I mean you should be able to do this mentally, right? 25 by 3 minus 3 is 25 minus 9, 16 by 3. So 16 by 3 into m1 into d1. What is d1? X itself. 25 by 3 equals to m2 d2. What is m2? X plus 5. So 25 by 3 plus 5, which will be 25 plus 15, 40 by 3. 40 by 3 into d2 has to be found. Simplify this, 3 and 3 gets cancelled. We have 16 into 25, which is 400. 400 goes how many times in 40? 10 times. So I think final answer is going to be d2 equals to 10 by 3. Done. And you don't have to write this. d2 equals to 10 by 3, you know, right? It's a waste of time. 10 by 3. 10 by 3 is fifth option, none of these. 10 by 3, maybe you can take it as 3 1 by 3, right? 10 by 3, or you can say it is 3 1 by 3. So answer to this question is option 5, none of this. What is wrong with you guys? Not even one response. Either my internet here is not working or you guys are not working. And I think the internet is working. So I can conclude that you are not working because this is a simple question. Can you please throw some light on what's happening? We have Rohit, Anil, Uday Kumar, Shraddha Tiwari, and we have Jaya Murli, we have Shankar Rao, we have Javed Bhatt, we have Teja, we have Kala, we have Krishna. Okay, Jaya Murli has got it. Kala says I was unable to correct. Javed says sorry. No, but what happened with the solution? I thought this was a simple one. Please don't scare me because this is disappointing, honestly. If you are not able to solve a question on the concept of m1 d1 equals to m2 d2, then I am afraid. Uday Kumar says I gave up at the quadratic equation. Why? You should know how to solve quadratic equations. If you are unable to factorize it, go for the formula minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. Trying with the options, no Murli. There was no number given there, right? So trying with options would take a lot of time. Okay, so I am happy that I took this. I was not very sure if I should take this question in the live class, because to me, I thought it is a simple one, but I am glad that I took it. Let's move on to the next question. Here we go. This is from Profit and Loss. Look at this. When an article is sold for 1171, the loss incurred is 20% less than the profit earned on selling it for rupees 1378. What should be the selling price of the article to earn a profit of 30%? 1 minute for this. I'm sure given your calculation ability that I've just experienced, you may need a little more time. Let's see how many of you can crack it. Teja says, how should I improve in quant? You should practice, Teja. More importantly, you should practice on your calculations. Anyways, try this out. Alright, the time is up. Should we discuss this now? So I'm going to take this up. Let's see. Okay, Paul Prabhakar has got the answer. He says it should be 1641.9. Let's try it out. Here's the question. When an article is sold for rupees 1171, the loss incurred is 20% less than the profit earned on selling it for rupees 1378. What should be the selling price of the article to earn a profit of 30%? So again, a simple one in my view. The concept is simple, of course. Numbers look typical, so you have to spend time doing the calculation. What does it say? An article is sold for 1171 and there was a loss. Then that loss is 20% less than the profit earned by selling the same article for 1378. So what should be the selling price of the article to earn a profit of 30%? Let's assume the cost price is C. Now, what is he saying? The loss is 20% less than the profit. See, get the high level equation first. Loss is 20% less than the profit. So can I say loss is 80% of profit? The loss is 20% less than profit. If profit is P, loss is only 80% of that. If the profit is P, then loss is going to be only 80% of that, right? It's 20% less. 100% minus 20%. That's it. This you have to understand clearly. You don't have to write this on paper. I am writing it so that I can explain you what has happened here. Loss is 80% of P. That's it. Now simplify. What is loss? Cost price minus selling price. C minus selling price was 1171 in case of loss. What is profit? Now 80% can be taken as 4 by 5, right? Directly at 4 by 5. What is profit? Profit is selling price minus cost price. Now selling price in case of profit was 1378 minus cost price C. It's over. You have to find out C. One equation. Can you not find out C? Yes. Solve for C, and then what should be the selling price of the article to earn a profit of 30%? See, when I need profit of 30%, selling price should be 1.3 times the cost price. Selling price should be 130% of cost price. Selling price equals to cost price plus profit. So 30% is the profit, right? So 100% was 30%, 130%. 130% is 1.3. So evaluate the value of C from this equation, put it back in this equation here and get the answer. 2 steps again. Yeah, and smartly you should just write this equation. Your solution should begin with this. If you write anything like C, L equals to 80% of P and all that, you are wasting your time. Simplify this now. So 5 into C, 5C minus, I think you'll have to do this calculation, right? So 1171 into 5, how do you multiply? 5,000, 500, 350 and 5. So 5,500 and 350. So 5,855. You're able to follow? There's no way out. I mean, doing some cancellation and all that would be a waste of time. I mean, it'll take longer. So multiply with 5 directly. 1000 into 5, 5000. 100 into 5, 500. 70 into 5, 350. So 500 plus 350, 850. 1 into 5 is 5. So 5850 plus 5, 5855. You're done. Mentally. Because I'm reading it out, it is taking longer. When you do it yourself, it will be really quick. Now 4 into 1378. How do you do this? There are different ways of doing it. I mean, like one thing that we have already done here. Split and merge. Here also split and merge. What I would like to do is, again, 1000 into 4, 4000. I mean, that's one way. So 4000, 1200. So 5200. And then this is 280. So 5,480, and then 32. So 5,512. 5,512. Or otherwise, you can do one more thing. Let's assume this is 1400 minus 22. 1378 can be taken as 1000 plus 300 plus 70 plus 8, or 1400 minus 22. So 4 into 1400 is 5600. Yes or no? 4 14s are 5600. So 4 into 1400 is 5600. 4 into 22 is 88. But since this is minus 22, you should take minus 88. So 5600 minus 88, 5512. Minus 4c. So what do we do now? 5c plus 4c, 9c equals to, you have to add these two values now. Calculation, right? Do it quickly. 5000 and 5000, 10,000. 800 and 500, 1300. So that is 11,300. 55 and 12 is 67. So how much is that? 11,377. Yes or no? I hope you're able to follow. We are adding these two. 5c plus 4c is 9c. This is 5,000 and 5,000, 10,000. 800 and 500 is 1300. So that makes it 11,300. And 55 and 12 is, 67. 55 and 12 is 67. So 11,300 plus 67, 11,367. Or c can be taken as this by 9. But what do I want? I want 1.3c. So your final answer, selling price, should be equal to 1.3. 1.3 into 11,367 divided by 9. Now this again is a calculation which you need to do. Maybe try and eliminate the answers. Like for example, let's say this is 11,000, roughly 11,500. Let's assume. See, 9,000 by 9 is 1,000. This is 2,300 more, right? You're able to follow. Visualize what will be the range of the answer. 11,367. Maybe you can take it as 11,400. Let's assume 11,400. Yes or no? Very close to 11,400. I'll break 11,400 mentally very quickly as 9,000 plus 2,400. 9,000 by 9 is 1,000. So that will give me 1,000. Why by 9? Because division may, denominator may, we have 9 here. 2,400 by 9. See, 1,800 by 9 is 200. 2,400 by 9 will be 260, 267, somewhere in that range. Yes or no? You understand? 2,400 by 9. 24 by 9 basically. It's like 8 by 3. 8 by 3 you know is 2.66. So 267. So basically roughly about 1,000 plus 267. You understand? This is 1267. What is 1267? Approximate calculation of 11,367 by 9. 1267. That has to be multiplied by 1.3. That has to be multiplied by 1.3. You understand? So even if you take it as, let's say, 1250 or 1270, what is 30% of this? See, 10% of 1267 is 10% of 1267 is 126. 30% will be 126 into 3, which will be somewhere around 380, let's say. So 1267 plus 380 coming around 1600. 1600 change. This is gone. This is gone. This is gone. You're able to follow? Eliminated, eliminated, eliminated. Because these are not in the range. Now you may tell me that you have taken so much time to arrive at this conclusion. Yes. But I am explaining it to you. So it is taking so much of time. If I do all this drama in my head, which is ideally what we need to do, it will not take so much of time. I'll eliminate 3 options very quickly. Now, unfortunately, 2 options are in that 1600 range, 1565 and 1641. So you may have to go for a next little precise calculation. Otherwise, if one more option gets eliminated, you are through. You are clear that this is the answer. Option 1 is the answer, or option 3 is the answer. Yeah. Now what do you want to do? You want to check with unit space? Maybe you can try that. Maybe you want to try that, you can check that. Like for example, you see one number ends in 3, the other number ends in 7. One number ends in 3. See what has happened. Substitute option 1 in place of S. I'll tell you how to verify between these two. I'll immediately go for unit space. Here unit space is 9, here unit space is 3. Assuming these are exact answers, right? So if you put option number 1 here, what happens? We have 1641.9. So basically, unit space doesn't work for division. But I have told you in the videos earlier that instead of considering it as division, cross multiply. So for example, if you take S equals to 1641.9, what happens? The equation looks like this. 1641.9 into 9, denominator goes on the side, equals to 1.3 into 11,367. Now number ends in 9, number ends in 9. 9 into 9, answer ends with 1. One number ends in 3, the other number ends in 7. When you multiply, the answer ends with 1. Balanced or not? Yes. So option 1 satisfies the unit space criteria. Will option 3 satisfy? No. If I put 1565.3, 3 into 9 ends with 7. But here, this number ends with 1. How is it balanced? Not balanced. So option 3 is also eliminated if I go by units place. So option 1 has to be the answer. And even when we are checking by range, I'll tell you, right, 1267 into 3, into 1.3 will be more than 1600. We kind of got there already. So more than 1600, only one option is there. But since this also is very close to 1600, you better verify. So option 1 is the answer in my view. And I am not doing the complete calculation. I don't want you to do the complete calculation, because if you end up doing the whole calculation there to get the very precise answer up to 2 decimal places, you're not going to get a gold medal. You will only get 1 mark. Somebody did it approximately and he still got 1 mark. Just because he has done an approximate calculation, examiner will not give him 0.8 marks, right? He'll still get 1 mark. So be smart. And I think elimination is the technique. If you understand, elimination really helps. Eliminate the wrong answers. You'll be left with the right one. Okay, so answer is option 1, 1641.9, and only 2 of you, or including Shubham, 3 of you had got it. Let's move on to the next question. Should we? Is it clear? Any confusion here? Clear to all of you? I'm sure it must be. Let's look at the next question. On your screens now, 1 minute, and I hope you get the answer this time. Alright, Paul again has got the answer as 2 hours. Let's quickly check it out. Here's the question. A car travels 50 kilometers at 10 km per hour faster than the usual speed, but it returns to the same place at 10 km per hour slower than the usual speed. If the total time taken by the car is 12 hours, then how many hours does it travel at faster speed? So basically, a car travels 50 kilometers at 10 km per hour faster than the usual speed. Let's assume the usual speed is s. So it traveled 10 km per hour faster, which means at what speed? 10 plus s, or s plus 10, right? It traveled at a speed of s plus 10. Now it returns to the same place, meaning it travels the same 50 km, right? It returns to the same place, meaning it has traveled the same 50 km at what speed? At 10 km per hour, slower than the usual speed. Slower than the usual speed, which means the speed in the other case is s minus 10, right? This also should be ideally s plus 10. This is s minus 10. If the total time taken by the car is 12 hours, then how many hours does it travel at the faster speed? See, total time taken by the car is 12 hours. Total time, what is total time? 12. 12 is equal to time for, total time. This is time traveling at faster speed plus time taken to travel at slower speed. Forward journey and return journey. Upward journey and return journey. You understand? To and fro. 12 hours total time is equal to time taken to go at faster speed and time taken to go, return at the slower speed. Whichever way. Now simplify this. 12. What is time? Time is equal to distance by speed. Distance is 50 in both the cases. By speed. Faster speed, s plus 10. Plus time taken to come back at slower speed. Time is what? Distance by speed. Distance is same 50. What is speed? S minus 10. Done. Only one equation and one variable. What is that variable? S. You have to solve for that. He's asking how many hours does it travel at faster speed. Once you get S, you can find out the time it travels for at faster speed, right? TF. TF is equals to 50 by S plus 10. This is what we want finally. But for this to be solved, we should know what is S first. One thing that you can do is maybe try with options. Try with options, but it's a little cumbersome here. Like time taken to travel at faster speed, if you say 3 by 4 hours, it is 2 hours and 45 minutes. Get S accordingly. It may take a little longer. So better solve the equation for S. Solve this equation for S. Very simple, right? Take the LCM in the denominator. What happens? I can directly write the next step. 12 into s squared minus 10 squared equals to, if I take 50 common, we'll have s minus 10 plus s plus 10. What will we do? In the denominator, we have s plus 10 into s minus 10. That will be s squared minus 10 squared. That goes in the other side. So 12 into s squared minus 10 squared. Yes or no? But before it goes to the other side, this 50 will be multiplied by s minus 10. This 50 will be multiplied by s plus 10. So if I take 50 common, we have s minus 10 plus s plus 10. See, this is where you will save time. If you cut down the number of steps, you will save time, right? So minus 10 plus 10 gets cancelled. We are left with whatever equation. Again, a quadratic equation. What happens? If you simplify it or just take it out, right? What happens next step? 12s squared. This is minus 100 into 12 minus 1200. This is S plus S, 2S. 2S into 50, 100S. But goes to the other side, minus 100S. Equals to 0. Some common terms here. I think 4 is common if you see. 4 is 3 times here, 4 is 25 times here, 4 is 300 times here. So the equation becomes what? 3S squared minus 25S minus 300. Again, another quadratic equation. So I think it's all about improving your ability to solve quadratic equations. Yes or no? Solve this equation. So 3 into 300, 900. How do you get 900 using 25? 45 and 20. Yeah, 45. 900 is 45 into 20. And 25 can be taken as 45 minus 20. You're done. So the equation would look like this, right? The next step will be what? 3S squared minus 45S plus 20S minus 300 equals to 0. So if I take 3S common, S minus 15 plus 20 common, S minus 15. I know S cannot be minus 20 by 3. So S is equal to 15. That's it. I mean, I'm not writing the next step. The next step will be 3S plus 20 into S minus 15 equals to 0. But 3S plus 20 is not a useful factor because in that case, S will become negative, minus 20 by 3. Speed cannot be negative. So speed has to be positive. S minus 15 equals to 0. S equals to 15. Speed is 15. Now put speed 15 here. 15 plus 10, 25. 50 by 25, 2. So time taken to travel at faster speed is 2 hours. Option 3 is the answer. Please cut down the number of steps. Do not go by the length of the explanation or the time that we have spent here. Okay. So a simple question on time and distance, but important to have that speed there. Next question. Mensuration. Some sort of mensuration I see. Rectangular water reservoir and all those steps. All questions are based on your calculation ability, at least in today's session. So try this out quick. Got it? Alright guys, you must admit that you are not working really quick, right? It's slow. Let's take this up. Here's the question. A rectangular water reservoir is 25 by 18 meter at the base. It is 25 by 18 meters at the base. Water flows into it through a pipe whose cross section is 9 centimeter by 6 centimeter at the rate of 20 meters per second. Find the height to which the water will rise in the reservoir in 36 minutes. Now, while it looks to be a complex question, I'm sure if you know the concept, if you have tried such questions in the past, it's a very, very simple volume based equation. The whole idea here is the volume has to be constant. Volume is constant. Meaning what? The volume of water discharged by this pipe equals to the volume of water that is there in the reservoir. Right? If you understand, there is a reservoir. The area at the base, see the base is, let's say, rectangular, right? The area at the base, here is the reservoir. This is the reservoir, right? And let's say there is an inlet pipe which is throwing water into this reservoir. You getting it? So the area at this base, this is 25 by 18 meters. Of course, the water is filling up the reservoir, right? I mean, the pipe is filling up the reservoir. So after some time, after 36 minutes, what will be the height of water? Let's say this much is filled. So what is the height of water in the reservoir is the question. It's simple. The amount of water that the pipe has filled in 36 minutes should be equal to the amount of water that is there in the tank in 36 minutes. So simple. The volume of water here should be equal to the volume of water discharged. What is volume? This is like a cuboid. This is like a cuboid, right? What is the volume of a cuboid? Length into breadth into height. Length is 25, breadth is 18. Let's assume the height is h. That's what you have to find out, right? What is the height of water? Let's assume that is h. Find the height to which the water will rise in the reservoir. So length into breadth into height, volume, equals to the volume. Volume of what? The water discharged by this pipe. Now this is a rectangular pipe where the cross section is 9 by 6. Meaning this is 9 centimeter by 6 centimeter pipe. This is 9 centimeter. This is 6 centimeter. Now what will be the volume of water here? See, it's simple, but it's simple. The area of this cross section multiplied by the rate at which it is filling the water. So it will be 9 centimeter by 6 centimeter into 20 meters per second. It is filling at the rate of 20 meters per second. For how many minutes? For 36 minutes. So basically, area of cross section is 9 into 6. It is filling at the rate of, the speed is what? 20 meters per second multiplied by 36 minutes. The rate at which it is filling is 20 meters per second. It filled for how many minutes? 36 minutes. So if you observe, this unit of time and unit of time here gets cancelled after applying proper constants there. But time and time gets cancelled. We will get another unit of length. So length, and this will be the third unit of length. You understand? Length. I mean, of course, one is length, the other is breadth, the third one is height. But the unit is what? Meter cube or cubic meter or whatever you call it, right? This also will be cubic meter eventually. So the volume of water in the reservoir should be equal to the volume of should be equal to the area of cross section into rate at which water is being filled into the time for which it fills the water. So 20 meters per second for how many minutes? 36 minutes. But observe, the units are not balanced. This is meter, 25 meter. This is 18 meter. Height also we'll get in meters, right? All these options, if you see, are in meters. Meters, and meters. So fine. Left hand side, everything is fine. Meters, and meters. This is centimeters. 9 centimeters. Convert that to meters. You have to divide by 100. This is also centimeters. 6 centimeter. Divide by 100 to get into meters. This is 20 meters per second. This is 20 meters per second. So meters only, but per second. Into how many seconds? 36 minutes. But 36 minutes has got how many seconds? Into 60 seconds. You're able to follow? You have to convert these minutes into seconds. So 36 into 60 seconds. So then seconds and seconds gets cancelled. You have to just write this and solve for h. Again, what is required here? Calculation. Length into breadth into height of the reservoir, the area of cross section into the rate of flow of water into the time for which it is filled. Simplify this. So what will h be equal to? If you overall now simplify, h will be equal to 9 into 6 into 20 into 36 into 60 divided by 100 into 100 into 25 into 18. This is the calculation that you need to do, right? 9, 6, 20, 36, 60, 100, 100, 25 and 18. Simplify. 18 goes 2 times, right? This 20 here goes 5 times. What else? That's it. Yeah, that's it, right? I mean, maybe you can say this is 12 times. So simplify now. I'll keep this 100 as it is. I don't want to, maybe some of you, I'll tell you a very important technique here. Don't try to cancel 2 with 100 now, because that will make the calculation more complex. See, at 100 in the denominator is very easy to work on. Divided by 100 means I'll put 2 decimals and I'll get rid of 100. But the moment you make it 50, 2 ones are 2, 2 50s are 100, and make it 50, then you have to do one tedious calculation. Or if you say 3 4s are 12, 3 25s are 100, and then you make it 3 and make it 25 by taking 4 common, your life will become even more miserable. You're getting it? 100 in the denominator is very welcome. It's welcome. Of course, I cancelled out 100, which was fine because it is completely eliminated, but let this other 100 be there as it is. If required, do the cancellations with 25. But nothing else will cancel 25, right? 9, 6, 2, 12 will not cancel 25. So the idea is keep that 100 as it is. Now work on the remaining calculation. So what happens? 9 into 6, 54. Yes or no? 9 into 6, 54. See, if you look at the numbers here, it can eliminate many options, right? 1.26, 0.52, 0.86, 1.08. There's a huge difference. So try it. See, if you say 9 into 6 is 54, 54 by 25 is approximately 2. Okay, so no, 9 into 6, 54. 54 by 25 will be 2. Somewhere around 2, right? Roughly 2. 2 into 2, 4. 4 into 12, 48. 48 by 100 is 0.48. Answer should be closer to 0.48. Slightly more than 0.48. You're getting it? Slightly more than 0.48. Why do I say this? 9, 6 are 54. 54 by 25 will be 2. So 2 into 2, 4. 4 into 12, 48. 48 by 100, 0.48. The moment it is 0.48, I know option 1, option 3, option 4 are eliminated. My only risk is none of these. Because it may be 0.52, it may be 0.51, it may be 0.53, it may be 0.54. So in that case, it can go none of this. It can become none of this. Now, if you're ready to take a chance, mark option 2. I mean, let's say you don't have time in the exam. Last few seconds left. Mark option 2, because at least first option, third option and fourth option are eliminated. If you say, no, I don't want to take a chance, I want perfect calculation, exact calculation, then do it. That's all I can say. And find out if it is option 2 or option 5. Right? But I think if I were taking the exam, I would mark option 2. Because I'm sure answer will be slightly more than 0.48, so 0.52 looks appropriate. Why am I saying answer is more than 0.48? Because we had got 54. See, 54 by 25, we approximately took it as 2. But numerator is more than 50. 50 by 25 is 2. Numerator is more than 50. So answer also will be more than 2. If this is more than 2, the whole numerator will become more than 2. So it will be more than 0.48. So using all this calculation, estimation, analysis, I am able to mark option 2. Yeah? Now, don't go by the length of the explanation. I told you it's a simple question, just that one equation that you have to write. L into B into H equals to the area of cross section into the rate at which the water is flowing, multiplied by time. You'll get the answer. As simple as that. Simplification may take time depending on the numbers there, but how much time it takes depends on your ability to work on those numbers. So 0.52, I think approximately 0.52 is what most of you have mentioned, right? Prabhakar, Jayamurli, Shankar Rao, Preeti. Good. So 0.52 is the answer, but you have to do it a little faster. Moving on to the next question, very quickly. This is on profit and loss. A long question, but I hope the solution is not lengthy. Try it out quickly. Okay, so let's discuss this now. See what it says. A bakery bakes cakes with the expectation that it will earn a profit of 40% by selling each cake at the marked price. But during the delivery to showroom, 16% of the cakes were completely damaged and hence could not be sold. 24% of the cakes were slight damaged, and hence could be sold at 80% of the cost price. The remaining of the cakes were sold at the marked price. What is the percentage profit in the whole consignment? Now throw some numbers, cost price, selling price, and see what happens. Like for example, he says the bakery's expectation is that it will earn a profit of 40% by selling each cake at marked price. Let's assume the cost price is 100. Now expectation is what it will earn 40% if the cakes are sold at marked price, which means marked price should be how much? 140. 100 becomes 140. Then only your profit is 40%, right? So basically the bakery wants to sell at 140 rupees. It is investing 100 rupees in each cake. It wants to sell at 140 rupees. Now since there is a calculation of number of cakes involved, let's assume the quantity is 100. Initial quantity is 100. What happened? 16% of the cakes were completely damaged, hence could not be sold. So try to understand. If the cost price is 100 and the quantity is 100, what is the total cost price? The total cost price is 100 into 100. Yes or no? The bakery made 100 cakes by investing 100 rupees on each cake. So it spent 10,000 rupees. What is the total selling price? Let's find that out. What happened? 16% of the cakes were completely damaged. How many cakes were there? 100 cakes. 16% of 100 is 16. 16 cakes were completely damaged and hence could not be sold. Could not be sold means what did the bakery get out of it? 0 rupees. They made 0 rupees for these 16 cakes, on these 16 cakes. I mean they could not sell it at all. Then next comes the 24% part. 24% of the cakes. 24% of these 100 cakes. 24% of the cakes were slight damaged and hence could be sold at 80% of the cost price. See, the cost price is 100. Cost price is 100. 80% of cost price would mean 80 rupees. So 24% is 24 cakes. Were sold at what price? 80 rupees. And the remaining cakes. Remaining cakes are how many? 16 plus 24, 40 are gone. So out of quantity 100, if 40 are gone, remaining are 60. 60 were sold at the marked price. What is the marked price? 140. You know the total cost price 10,000. You can find out the total selling price from this. Then you know what is the percentage profit. Yes or no? Do that. Find this out. This is 0. 24 into 80, 6 into 40. Let me directly get the profit. What is profit percentage? Profit percentage is equal to selling price by cost price into, actually profit by cost price, but directly take the selling price in terms of cost price. So basically one simple way would be divide S by C. Find out what happens. It will give you the answer. I'll tell you how. Divide the selling price by cost price. So 24 into 80 plus 60 into 140. This S by C thing I am doing just to simplify the calculation. Actually the formula for profit percentage is S minus C by C. Actually, the formula for profit percentage is S minus C by C, but we are just taking S by C. I'll tell you how it is useful. Divide selling price by cost price. So 24 into 80 plus 16 into 140 divided by 100 into 100. Look at the advantage. 20 into 4, 20 into 3, 20 into 5. Yeah. So simplify to a great extent. Now look at this. 24 into 4 is 96. 3 into 140 is 420. 5 into 100 is 500. So 420 plus 96 is 516 by 500. 516 by 500. So I can now split this 516 as 500 plus 16. So what has happened? See, I have got selling price by cost price. The selling price has come out to be 500 plus 16 divided by 500. Now why did I break it as 500 plus 16? Why not 400 plus 116? Why not 300 plus 216? Or why not 450 plus 66? Because the denominator is 500. I want the numerator always in terms of the denominator. Now recall, what is selling price? Cost price plus profit. And the cost price in the denominator is 500. So this 500 represents the cost price. Yes or no? In 516, 500 represents the cost price. In 16 represents the profit. 16 rupees on how much? 500 rupees. 16 rupees is the profit on 500 rupees. 1% is 5 rupees. 3% will be 15 rupees. This is 3.2 percentage. You understand? Basically 16 into 100 by profit by cost price into 100. I mean, eventually we are doing the same thing. Selling price minus cost price by cost price into 100. But calculation becomes really easy. You know that 16 is 3.2% of 500. 1% of 500 is 5. 3% is 15. The extra one is 0.2%. So 3 plus 0.2, 3.2 percentage. Option 1 will be the answer. So keep it simple. Since a percentage answer is required, I've always told you, right? Whenever you're dealing with profit and loss questions, when you do a percentage calculation, you can always assume the initial cost price to be 100 and then work according to the given question. If one of the values is given to you, numerical values like the selling price or the mark price or the cost price or the actual profit or actual loss, then you cannot assume the cost price to be 100. Because you know that cost price of 100 should translate into that actual value somewhere in the process. But since there is no numerical value given, we can always assume 100 and do the calculation. Okay? So let's quickly move on to the next set of questions. We have a few questions on data sufficiency, a very interesting topic and very important from SBI exams point of view. So look at the first one. Simple in my view. 45 seconds. Let's see how many of you get the answer. Alright, this was a simple one. Let's look at it. Now these are data sufficiency questions. Look at the directions. In each question, we have two statements A and B. Answer each question using the following instructions. Now you know what these instructions are, right? Options. If the question can be answered by using statement A alone, but not by using statement B alone, then mark option 1. If statement B alone can give the answer, but not statement A alone, then mark option 2. If both the statements together can give the answer, but independently they cannot give the answer, then mark option 3. If the question can be answered by using either of the statements, either 1 or 2, then mark option 4. And if the question cannot be answered, then mark option 5. So regular data sufficiency type of question, right? DS question, data sufficiency question. Let's look at this. What is the ratio of number of boys to that of girls admitted into an engineering college? Simple, he's asking us to find out B is to S, B is to G. B is to G equals to what? The ratio of number of boys to girls. Option A. The number of boys admitted is 100 more than double the number of girls admitted. Now immediately I know this cannot give me the answer. I'll tell you how. Let's assume the number of girls are G. What will be the number of boys? 100 more than double the number of girls. 100 more than double the number of girls. So number of boys is equals to 100 plus 2G. So what will be the ratio? Now boys is to girls ratio 100 plus 2G by G. Can you get the answer from this? No, because we do not know what is the actual number of girls. G is not known to us. Yes or no? G is not known to us. And unless G is known, the ratio cannot be evaluated. So this is not enough to get me the answer. So option A is eliminated. Option B, the number of girls is 4 by 9 times the number of boys. This is like a sitter, right? A piece of cake. 4 by 9 times the boys. So G equals to 4 by 9 B, which means B by G equals to 9 by 4. Can I get the ratio from this? Yes, very much. Option B alone gives you the answer. Option A alone does not give you the answer. So you should mark option 2. Statement B alone gives the answer. Statement A alone does not give. So option 2 will be the answer. Next question. Try this quick. Okay, time is up. Here we go. Look at this. So the same data sufficiency format, you know option 1, option 2, option 3, 4 and 5 in which conditions have to be marked. We have to find out which of these statements are enough to get the answer to this question. What does it say? At XYZ Corporation, for a resolution to become a policy, of the 80 members, the resolution must be passed by at least a 3/4 majority. So he says basically there's a company XYZ Corporation where for a resolution to become a policy, out of 80 members, at least 3/4 majority has to be there. For a resolution to pass, there should be a 3/4 majority. The resolution must be passed at least by a 3/4 majority. You're getting it? So meaning out of 80, at least 60 should give a go ahead. Minimum 60. Right? Greater than or equal to 60 members, if they say the resolution is okay, then it will become a policy. Otherwise, it will not become a policy. Now the question is, was the policy made? Was the policy made? How can you answer this? Look at option A, statement A. 55 members voted for resolution. See, 55 have voted for resolution clearly tells us that the policy was not made. Yes or no? Policy was not made. Why? I need at least 60 votes, minimum 60 votes. Only 55 people voted. I need for this policy to become a resolution. I need at least 60 votes. How many votes did I get? 55 members. Was the policy made? No, the policy was not made. Am I able to answer the question? Yes. Be careful. Many of us will mark the answer as A is not sufficient to this question. Why do we mark that answer as A is not sufficient? Because we think the policy was not made. This not is a dangerous word here. Because the policy was not made, you mark the answer as option A not sufficient. But understand that option A is sufficient. Yes, statement A is sufficient to mark the answer to this question. Why? It is a was type of question. Was the policy made? Answer can be yes or answer can be no. Policy was not made. No is the answer. Was the policy made? No. But yes, statement is sufficient. Are you able to follow? I am able to say no because of statement A. So statement A alone is sufficient. Statement A alone is sufficient. Be very careful. We have discussed such question types in our videos as well and many times in our doubts clarification sessions. Whenever there is a is or type of a question, is or was type of a question, where the answers can be yes, no, true, false, you have to be careful. Don't say one alone is not sufficient. One is sufficient. The policy was not made. How am I able to say policy was not made? Because of the data given in statement A. So statement A alone was sufficient. Yes or no? Answer is no. Don't get confused here. Yes, yes, the statement is sufficient. Answer is no. Policy was not made. Answer is no. I am getting that from statement A. So 1A alone is okay. Now check B alone. 12 members voted against the resolution. 12 members voted against the resolution. How do you answer this? 12 members voted against the resolution. See, now, does it mean, you have to be careful again, while there's some underlying assumption that we have here. 12 members voted against the resolution. Does it mean remaining 68 voted yes? No. Some could have said, some can also say that it's not compulsory that everybody has voted, right? You understand what I'm trying to say? Generally this is what happens, right? When you go for any sort of election. Even in our parliament, when the resolution has to be passed, what do we see? There is a fixed percentage that we have to achieve. But it could be that some of them are not present. It could be that some of the participants have voted neutral. They are like neither yes nor no types. So what I only know is 12 members voted against the resolution. But does it mean remaining 68 voted for the resolution? No. It could be that out of 68, 20 were absent. So there were only 48 who voted for the resolution. And there are different possibilities here. So is this giving me a clear answer? No. Hence B alone is not sufficient. So your answer to this question will be only A is sufficient. Only statement A alone is sufficient. You have to be careful with this particular question, especially because it's a yes or no type of question. A alone is sufficient. because it tells me that policy was not made. But B does not give us a clear information. Policy might have been made, might not have been made. If 68 voted, said yes, then the policy was made. If 59 said yes, then the policy was not made. Right? If 53 said yes, then the policy was not made, and so on. So whether it was made, not made, we do not know. You're getting it? We do not know that. Hence, B is not giving us the answer. Alright? Next question. Here's the third one. Try it out. Alright, here we go. So the next question on data sufficiency here. If A, B and C are odd integers and 5 is less than A, less than B, less than C, then what is the value of A? Simple question, right? What is the value of A? Right? Look at this. Statement A says C is less than 13. See, be very clear. A, B, C, all three are odd integers and C is less than 13. Now what does it mean? If C is less than 13, we can say 5 is less than A, less than B, less than C. See, C is less than 13. So what are the possibilities? C can be 11, 9, 7, 5, 3 and so on. But however, we know that C is greater than 5. You see, C is greater than B, B is greater than A and A is greater than 5. So C is greater than 5 meaning C cannot be 5 or 3. C can be 11, 9 or 7. But then there have to be two values between 5 and C. So there is no other way out. The C has to be 11. C is less than 13 implies C has to be 11. And in that case, the only way that this equation or inequation can be filled is as follows. 5 less than 7 less than 9 less than 11. Because all A, B, C are odd, the only odd integers available between 5 and 11 are 7 and 9. So A becomes 7 and B becomes 9. So can I conclude A is equal to 7? Yes. Can I conclude A is equal to 7? Yes. So what is the value of A? 7. I am able to say this from statement A alone. So A alone gives me the answer. Right? A alone gives me the answer. Now try B alone. See, A alone gives you the answer does not mean that answer is option 1. You have to try the other option as well. I've told you one important rule in data sufficiency is never mark the answer without reading all the statements. We have read only statement 1 so far. Read statement 2. Statement 2 says A is less than 11. I know A is greater than 5. From the data, from the question, I know A is greater than 5. But from this option B, of statement B, I know A is less than 11. Now between 5 and 11, A can be 7 or A can be 9. There are two possible values. Am I able to figure out what is the exact value? No. Which means B does not give you the answer. According to statement B, A can be 7 or it can be 9. So I'm not able to get the answer. What is the value of A? A is equal to 5. A is equal to 7 according to statement A. And according to statement B, A can be 7 or 9, and that is the reason I will say B alone is not sufficient. A alone is sufficient, and hence option 1 is the answer. And hence option 1 is the answer. Let's look at it. See, many of you have gone wrong here because I could see most of you marked option 5. You said if the question cannot be answered on the basis of two statements. Why 5? Neeraj marked 5, Krishna marked 5, Uday Kumar marked 5. Vidya said only A. But Vidya said sorry only A, which means she had marked something else earlier. So Vidya, you were also wrong initially. Shraddha said 4. Then Shraddha said 5. Then Shankarrao said sorry 1, which means Shankarrao also was wrong initially. Right? Sorry is not acceptable in this competitive exams, unfortunately. I mean, once you have marked the answer, you will move on, right? You will not come back to the same question. Preeti said A or B. A or B is not the answer, Preeti. Only A is the answer. B will not give us the answer. So guys, be careful. You see, the trick is simple questions will trick you. I mean, that's the conclusion. That's the point that I can derive from what I have seen so far, right? Simple questions can be tricky because you're either in a hurry or you're thinking too much about it and committing unnecessary mistakes. Okay, so we are done with these questions on data sufficiency. Let's quickly look at the set on data interpretation. Okay, so we have one DI question today. It's a simple question on bar graphs. 2 bar charts have been given. So I'll present the bar charts to you, understand those bar charts first, and then we will look at the independent questions. So here we go. The bar charts are on your screen. I'll leave you with this for about 30 to 45 seconds. Analyze and understand what information is available in these bar diagrams or bar charts, and then we will look at the questions asked. Clear? I'm sure all of you have understood the data. Let's look at this. So here's the next question. Data interpretation. Study the following graph carefully to answer the given questions. What does it say? Total investment in rupees 1000 of Gautam and Rudra in 6 schemes MNO PQR. So Gautam and Rudra are two guys here who have invested in 6 different schemes MNO PQR, and this represents their total investments in 1000. So in scheme M they have invested 84,000, scheme N they have invested 72,000, and so on. There is another graph here. What does it say? Percentage of Gautam's investment out of total investment. So this is only about Gautam. The first bar graph was about Gautam and Rudra together. This is only about Gautam. And this is percentage of investment. So basically in scheme M, Gautam has invested 54% out of the total investment that we see here. In scheme P, Gautam has invested 30% out of the total investment that we see here, and so on. So what all can be extracted from the given data? One is total investment. Like for example, in scheme P, they have invested together how much? 60,000. But I know what is Gautam's investment in scheme P. How do we get Gautam's investment in scheme P? I mean, what is the Gautam's investment in scheme P? How much is it? 30%. 30% of total 60,000. Yes or no? Out of total investment, Gautam has given 30%. 30% of 60,000, which is 18,000. Which means remaining, what will be the investment of the other guy, Rudra? Rudra's investment in scheme P? It will be 60,000 minus 18,000. I mean, you don't have to write all these steps, just explain it to you. So what can be extracted from this data? What all is available in this data? We know the total investment and we know individual investments. And you can do these calculations mentally. You don't have to put pen on paper for this, right? Like for example, I want Rudra's investment in scheme Q, let us say. Rudra's investment in scheme Q. So first of all, let us find out Gautam's investment in scheme Q. 42% of 64,000. 42% of 64,000. Now you have to do this calculation. What is 42% of 64,000? 10% is 6,400. 40% will be 24,000 plus 25,600. 1% is 640. 2% will be 1280. So 26,400 plus 1280. 27,680. You getting it? Or 50% minus 8%, whichever you want to do. 40% is 24,000 plus, what is the breakup of this? 40%, 24,000 plus 1,600, and 2% is 1280. So 24,000 plus 1,600 is 25,600. 25,600 plus 1280. Sorry, this will be 25,600, 27,600, 27,000, 26,880. 26,880. So basically, you know what needs to be done. Calculation was a little incorrect there. 26,880 is Gautam's investment. Now, total investment minus 26,880 will be Rudra's investment. Or you can directly do it. If 42% is Gautam's investment, implies remaining 58% is Rudra's investment. I mean, you don't have to calculate Gautam's investment and then subtract. You're able to follow. This is stupid in my view. I know I have only done it, but you can make it better now. What do we do? If Gautam has invested 30%, Rudra has invested 70%. If Gautam has invested 42%, Rudra has invested 58%. Here Rudra has invested 36%. Here is invested 60%. So both of them can be calculated. That's the moral of the story. Look at this question now. I hope all of you have understood what needs to be done there, right? Let's look at the question just a second. Here's the question. The first question on the data. Look at this. The amount invested by Gautam in scheme S is equal to the amount invested by him in scheme N. So here we're talking about scheme S. A new scheme has come, scheme S. Yes or no? We talked only about MNO PQR so far. Now we're talking about scheme S. So what does it say? Amount invested by Gautam in scheme S is equal to the amount invested by him in scheme N. Now what is the amount invested by Gautam in scheme N? See, scheme N, he has invested 60%. 60% of what? 72,000. Right? So let's say Gautam in N. Gautam in scheme N is how much? 60% of 72k, right? How much will that be? 50% plus 10%, so 36,000 plus 7,200, 43,200. This is done. So amount invested in scheme S by Gautam is also same, 43,200, because that's what it says, right? The amount invested by Gautam in scheme S is equal to the amount invested by him in scheme N. Same. So this first part is done. Next statement. The rate of interest of scheme S is same as that of scheme N. Rate of interest of scheme S is same as that of scheme N. Scheme S offers compound interest, compounded annually, while scheme N offers simple interest. So difference between scheme N and scheme S is N offers simple interest, while scheme S offers compound interest. If the difference between the interest earned by Gautam from both the schemes after 2 years is 349.92, what is the rate of interest? So basically, here's the question. Scheme S 43,200, which is equal to scheme N. I mean, we are talking only about Gautam here, by the way, right? It's all about Gautam. So he has invested 43,200 in both the schemes. Scheme S has got a rate of interest R percentage per annum. Scheme N has also got R percentage per annum, right? That's the statement. Rate of interest of scheme S is same as that of scheme N. Scheme S offers compound interest. This gives you compound interest. But scheme N gives you simple interest. This gives you simple interest. The difference in these two schemes, scheme S and scheme R, after 2 years is 349.92. I mean, difference of interest earned from these two schemes is 349.92 after 2 years. What is the rate of interest? Now recall that simple and compound interest formula. You remember that formula? I'm just clearing it up to get some space. What is the formula? Difference formula. I'll repeat it if you want. Principal P can be taken as difference into 100 square by R square. The principal P. When the difference between SI and CI is given to you, then the principal can be considered as D into 100 square by R square, where D is the difference in the scheme. This is a formula applicable only for 2 years. For 3 years, we have another formula. You should remember the shortcut formula. That is P equals to D into 100 cube by R square into 300 plus R. Anyway, here we are talking about 2 years. So the formula to be applied is P equals to D into 100 square by R square. What is P? The principal is same in both the schemes. 43,200. This is P. What is D? D is given as 349.92. What is to be calculated? R is to be calculated. Substitute the values and do the calculation. Yes or no? So what do we get? From this we can say R square, since we need R square directly, R square equals to D into 100 square by P. Now simplify. So R square equals to, difference is how much? 349.92. For the sake of simplicity, I am taking it as 350. Right? Let's say this is 350 into 100 square by, what is P? 43,200. We have to do the calculation. Yeah. Do this simplification, you get the value of R. Like for example, we can cancel 100. I mean, let's look at the values 9, 5, 13, 11, 7, right? You can do an approximate calculation. So 100 is cancelled here. We get 350 into 100 by 432, right? Let's say if I take 35, this is 35 into 10, this is 35 into 12 approximately. So 1000 by 12. Yes or no? Or just see if there's any other way you can cancel this out. How do we get 432? Yeah, 43,200. Yeah. Simplify this. 350 by 432. I mean, if you take 7 common in both of them, this is 7 into 50. This is 7 into 62, right? So R square equals to 5000 by 62. Or, I mean, you know, taking it further, this will be like 5 by 6. 5 by 6 is 0.833. So 0.833 into 100 is 83.3. So R square is 83.3. R should be somewhere around 9, approximately 9. Yeah, it should be slightly around 9. Option 1 is the answer. See, calculation is your lookout. I'm sure you will do it yourself. You just have to arrive at what is the best answer. I have got 50 by 62 here. 50 by 62 is like 5 by 6. 5/6 of 100 is how much? 83.3. Yes, 5/6 of 100 is 83.3. R squared, according to this data, is 83.3. So R should be approximately 9. And that's the best answer. From the options, 5 cannot be the answer, 13 cannot be the answer, 11 cannot be the answer, 7 cannot be the answer. 9, it has to be close to 9, option 1. Next question. Again, don't assume it is too lengthy and all that. Since I'm explaining it is taking longer, you know what needs to be done, right? Apply this shortcut formula, P equals to D into 100 square by R square. Next question. Okay, here's the next one. Try this out. What is the question? Rudra invested in scheme R for 4 years. So we are talking about Rudra and we are talking about scheme R. So 96,000 is the total investment. 64% is Gautam's investment, right? So Rudra's investment will be 36%. Anyway, Rudra invested in scheme R for 4 years. If the scheme R offers simple interest at the rate of 7% per annum for the first 2 years and then compound interest at 10% per annum compound annually for the third and fourth year, what will be the interest earned in rupees by Rudra after 4 years? First of all, what is the principal amount? What is principal? Here the principal is nothing but Rudra's investment, right? How much did he invest? See, I know Gautam invested 64% in scheme R. So Rudra has invested remaining 36%, right? If Gautam has invested 64, Rudra will invested 36%. 36% of what? The total investment, 96,000. So this is principal amount. This is the principal amount, which is nothing but Rudra's investment, for your clarification. Rudra's investment in scheme R. Okay. Now, this scheme R, he has invested for how many years? 4 years. He has put this amount for 4 years. Scheme R offers 7% per annum for first 2 years, and then it offers compound interest at 10% per annum compounded annually for the third and fourth year. So what will be the total interest earned in the process is the question. See, understand, very simple calculation. First year, second year, third year, fourth year. What does it say? First and second year, for first 2 years, you'll get 7% per annum. So this will give you 7%. Here also you'll get 7%. Third and fourth year is a compounding process, compounded annually. At what rate? 10%. 10% in third year, 10% in fourth year, but it's a compound interest. So meaning you have to take it together. It cannot be 10 plus 10. It will be 10 plus 10 plus 10 into 10 by 100. Remember, how do you calculate compound interest? Effective percentage formula. A plus B plus AB by 100. So that's what you need to do here. 10% in the first year, 10% in third year and 10% in fourth year. If it is a compounding process, what do we get? 21%. Yes or no? We'll get 21%. So what is the total interest from all this? What is the total interest? Total interest will be equal to 7 plus 7, 14, 14 plus 21, 35%. It will be equal to 35%. Yes or no? Total interest is going to be 7% first year, 7% second year, 21% for third year and fourth year together. So 7 plus 7, 14, 14 plus 21, 35%. So what will be the interest earned by Rudra in 4 years? Rudra has invested 36% of 96,000 and on this investment, he earned 35%. So what will be the final answer? The answer will be 35% of the principal, which is 36% of 96,000. Do the calculation. You may first find, this is the final answer by the way, you may first do the calculation of 36% of 96,000, then take 35% of that, or you may take 35% of 96,000 and then take 36% of that, or you may take 35% of 36% and that percentage can be applied on 96,000, because basically this is like A, B and C, A into B into C. You may multiply AB first or BC first or AC first, whichever is comfortable for you, whichever is convenient to you. Right? But since the options are closed, you have to do a proper calculation. Like 12,096 and 12,242 and 12,364 are actually pretty close for the kind of range that we have here. Yes or no? So you have to be cautious when you're doing the calculation. You may want to do the unit space method maybe, because see, answers are ending with different unit spaces, 8, 6, 2, 4, 6. If the final answer ends with 6, then we are in trouble because there are two options ending in 6. But if the final answer ends with something else, then we will be very easily able to pick the answer. Like for example, if you see, this is like 35 by 100 into 36 by 100 into 96,000. So if you see, forget about the zeros, only look at the other unit places. 5 into 6 will end with 0. Okay, so overall we'll have to work for the tens place basically, because all the zeros would get cancelled here. Yeah, so do the calculation then. I mean, what happens? Zeros anyway get cancelled. The 0 gets cancelled. All zeros are gone. This is 5 into 7. This is 5 into 2. This is 18 times. So final answer is 7 into 18 into 96. 7 into 18 into 96. Now what is 7 into 18? 126. So this is 126 into 96. So I will say this is 12,600 minus something, because I'm taking 96 as 100 minus 4. 96 I'm taking as 100 minus 4. So 126 into 100 is 12,600 minus 126 into 4. That will be like 480 plus 24, 504. So before I do this calculation, I know that the answer should be less than 12,600. Look at the options. The options less than 12,600. Okay, there are three options: 12,096, 12,242, 12,662. Yeah, but 12,600 minus 500 is 12,100, and minus 4 is 12,096. So I think option 2 is the exact answer. Yeah, so I think instead of taking percentage wise, you just take by 100 here and simplify this to get the answer. See, how you arrive at the number is the key basically. How you do the calculation is the key. 7 18s is 126. 126 multiplied by 96. Now again 96 is split and merged, right? Split it as 100 minus 4. So 12,600 minus 126 into 4. 12,096. Here's the next one. What is the average amount invested by Gautam in the schemes M, N, O, P and Q together? Average amount invested by Gautam in what schemes? M, N, O, P and Q together. M, N, O, P and Q together. You have to forget about R. Forget about R. And Gautam's investment, he says. Gautam's investment is same percentages. How do you find the average? Total investment by number of types of investment. But since there are different percentages, you have to do all the calculations individually, right? So if you see, the average here will come out like this: 54% of 84 plus, I mean, you should be able to visualize this, 60% of 72 plus, there are 5 schemes, right? 40% of 32 plus 30% of 60. I mean, some of these are very, very easy to calculate. Plus 42% of 64. This divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divided by 5. So this calculation needs to be done. Now I would skip this question immediately because I know too many calculations involved. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 7 calculations are involved. So maybe I'll quickly check the next question. If those are easier, I'll solve, and maybe I'll mark this for review, right? You know that you can mark questions for review in your exam, right? So mark this question for review and come back. And don't write this on paper and leave it. If you have written so much, then you better complete it. I would leave the question the moment I read it because I know all these calculations are to be done. There's no shortcut. There's no, I mean, we can try maybe approximate calculations because this is 29,000, 26,000. This is also close to 29,000. This is 30,500, 31,000. Maybe that can be tried, or maybe you want to try with unit digit method. But that also will not help because the denominator here is 5. That 5 multiplied by 8 will give you 0. 5 multiplied by 2 will give you 0. 5 multiplied by 6 will give you 0. So unit digit method definitely does not work. You have to maybe do an approximate calculation, but that also is up to you. Anyways, you know what needs to be done, right? I am not going to do the calculation for you. You can do the calculation yourself, but be very quick, or you better leave it. Leave it the moment you read the question. Some are very easy, like 40% of 32,000. 40% of 32,000 is how much? 12,800. Right? 30% of 16,000 is 60,000 is 18,000. 42% of 64,000. 40% plus 2%. I think we have done this calculation. So if we can recall the value from there, earlier question, it's easy. So that will be 6,400 into 4 which is 25,600 plus 1280, 26,880. 60% of 72,000 is 43,200. You can see half of the calculations are already done, more than half. 54% of 84,000. 50% is 42,000. 4%, 1% is 840. 840 into 4 will be 3320. So 42,000 plus 3,320. So 45,320. Yes or no? 4% of 84,000. 1% is 840. 4% will be 3,200 plus 60, I guess. 4,360. 45,360. 840 into 4, right? 3,200 plus 160, 3,360. So 42,000 plus 3,360, 45,360. All the numbers are there. Now do the average. Anyway, next step is yours anyway. So this is the calculation. I'm moving on to the next one. Here's the next question. What does it say? Scheme O. We are talking about Scheme O. Scheme O offers compound interest, compound annually at 12% per annum. 12% per annum. What is the difference between the interest earned by Gautam and Rudra from Scheme O after 2 years? Interesting. Try it out. I want you all to try this out. Try this. Scheme O. Is that done? Okay, here we go. Now, what does the question say? The Scheme O offers compound interest, which is compound annually, at 12% per annum. What's the difference between the interest earned by Gautam and Rudra from Scheme O? So basically, there are two guys, Gautam and Rudra. Both of them have invested in Scheme O. What is Scheme O's total investment? 32,000. See, this 32,000 has to be split between Gautam and Rudra. Gautam has invested how much? 40%. Which means Rudra has invested 60%. Right? So principal of Gautam is 40%. Principal of Rudra is 60% of that 32,000 respectively. Both of them are, this is the principal amount. Both of them are getting interest at what rate? 12% per annum, 12% per annum. For how many years? What is the time? See, P, T and R. Rate of interest is 12%. Time period is how much? 2 years for both of them. So basically he says find out the total interest earned by Gautam, total interest earned by Rudra, and the difference. What is the difference between the interest earned by Gautam and Rudra from scheme after 2 years? Now you know that in 2 years a scheme offering 12% per annum will give how much? The same calculation, A plus B plus AB by 100. So 12 plus 12 plus 12 into 12 by 100. It will give you 25.44%. We have done this calculation a million times, so I'm not explaining you how to get this. You understand? A plus B plus AB by 100. Compound interest is always A plus B plus AB by 100. So 12% plus, 12 plus 12 plus 12 into 12 by 100. Yes or no? 12 plus 12 plus 12 into 12 by 100. So 24 plus 1.44, 25.44. So I'm clear that Gautam is going to get 25.44% of his investment. Rudra is going to get 25.44% of his investment. We want the difference of these two schemes. Difference of the interest earned. So if you understand overall, it is nothing but, see, 60% minus 40% is how much? 20%. So 20% of 32,000 of 25.44%. Are you able to follow? I'm writing the final step. I'm writing the final step here. Try and understand. Just clear it off. I'm sure you have understood, right? Gautam will get 60% of 32,000. Rudra will get 40% of 32,000. That's their investments. The difference is as follows. Difference is equal to, see, what is Rudra's interest? Earned 25.44% of Rudra's investment, which is 60% of 32,000. This minus Gautam's interest. How much will Gautam get? He'll get the same 25.44%. But on his investment, which is what? 40%. Of what? 32,000. So the point that I was trying to make is, instead of writing this or calculating these two individually and then taking the difference, you better take the difference of these two, because 25.44% is common. 32,000 is also common. What is not common is 60 minus 40. So basically this boils down to what? See, approximately, if I take 25, or not approximately, let us take it as 25.44% of 32,000 outside. This is the common part in both the terms, right? 25, 32, 25, 32. Common part I have taken outside of 60% minus 40%. 60% minus 40%, 20%. So basically 1/5 of this. So your final answer is going to be 1/5. 20% is 1 by 5. 25%, this is approximately 1/4. Or let's take it as 25.44 only. Into 32,000. So roughly if you see, 25.44 by 5 is 20, 25.44 by 5 is like 5. 5% of 32,000. What is 5% of 32,000? 10% is 3,200. 5% is 1,600. Slightly more than 1,600. So 2, 5 and 3 are eliminated. Are you able to understand the calculation? All I am trying to explain is don't calculate individual interest and then take the difference. Because 25.44 was common, 32,000 is also common. Only difference is 60% and 40%, which comes out to be 20%. So 1/5 of 25.44% of 32,000. 25% by 5 is 5%. 5% of 32,000 is 1,600. Slightly more than 1,600, but there are two options, 1,628 or 1,672. Now do the calculation. It's like 0.44 by 5 is 0.1%. Approximately 0.5, right? So 0.1%. 0.1% of 32,000. 1% of 32,000 is 320. 0.1% will be 32. Slightly less than 0.1% will be less than 32. So answer should be 1628.16. You understand? 1,600 is clear, but how much more than 1,600? Is it 28 more or 72 more? It will be somewhere around 32 more. Because what is additional here? 0.44. 0.44 by 5. You're able to follow. What is extra that we left out? 0.44%. 0.44 is like 0.5. 0.5 by 5 is 0.1. 0.1% of 32,000 is 32. So extra 32 should be there, somewhere around 32. So 72 is not the value. Extra 32 means 1,600 plus 32, 1,632. 1,628 should be the answer. Again, when I'm talking, it takes a lot of time because I'm kind of reading out all these steps, right? You do it mentally, you'll save a lot of time. Next question. Scheme P offers compound interest compounded half yearly at 16% per annum. What will the sum of interest earned by Gautam and Mitra from Scheme P after 1 year? Very, very simple. The rate of interest is 16% per annum. But since it is a half yearly compounding, you should take 8 plus 8 plus 8 into 8 by 100. Don't ask me how. This is a compound interest concept. 16.64%. For 1 year, in 1 year, I have got 2 half years. So I'll split 16 as 8 and 8. Twice I have to take it. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 into 8 by 100. 16.64%. And we are not worried about Gautam's investment, Rudra's investment and all that. That Scheme P offers this much. How much will both of them earn together? What will be the sum of interest? So I'll just calculate on Scheme P's total investment. They have invested 60,000 in Scheme P, right? Who has invested how much is not required. Don't worry about 30%, 70% all that. Together they will get how much? Total interest is going to be 16.64% of this total investment, 60,000. See, 15% of 60,000 is 9,000. This should be slightly more than 9,000. Yeah, what all the options are like more than 9,000. So do a calculation. See, 16.64 is like 16.66. Can I say that? Very, very close to 16.66. We have got 16.64, right? 16.64% is approximately 16.66%. There's hardly any difference, right? 0.02%, negligible. And I know that 16.66% is 1/6 of the value. So basically my answer should be 1/6 of 60,000. How much is that? 10,000. Very close to 10,000. So I think 9,984 is what I would mark. Because actually what I've taken is 16.66. But the real value is 16.64. Slightly less than 16.66. So slightly less than 10,000. Which is slightly less than 10,000 here, option 4. You understand the trick? 16.64 is like 16.66, which is 1/6. 1/6 of 60,000 is 10,000. Answer is 10,000. But is it more than 10,000 or less than 10,000? Less than 10,000. Why? Actual value is 16.64. I have approximated as 16.66. Actual value is 16.64, which is less. So answer should also be less than 10,000. Which is the closest and less than 10,000 here? 9,984. You getting it? So I think that's the data interpretation question, we had 5 questions on simple and compound interest presented in the form of data interpretation. There were 2 bar charts given to you. First chart indicates total investment of 2 persons. Second chart indicates percentage of investment of one of the persons. So basically he has given you individual investments and total investments indirectly. And then there are questions based on SI and CI concepts. So you should know the difference formula, you should know the compound interest formula, you should know the simple interest formula, all these concepts. Only when you know those concepts, you'll be able to apply and arrive at the answers. So I think one thing is very clear. In all these questions that we had solved today, calculations play a key role. I mean, if you cannot work on those calculations, on those numbers, you cannot play with those numbers, you'll end up wasting a lot of time. And you will be able to solve all the questions, I'm sure. But how quickly can you solve is the question, and that's what matters, especially in the prelims exam. So I think the takeaway from today's session is practice on your calculations. There are a lot of techniques available, hundreds of techniques available. Many of those have been explained in our videos. Others I'm sure you can find out. I mean, if you do a Google search, you'll find out many other techniques. But the most important ones have been covered. And in my view, those are the ones that you can actually apply. If there is one technique which is applicable in only that specific case, it may look very fancy, but is it actually practical to apply that is what you need to judge. So anyways, a lot of techniques covered through videos. Learn all those speed math techniques. Apply those techniques on a daily basis. That can happen only through practice. So practice is the key. I think if you spend 1 hour every day on pure numbers calculations, you will improve a lot over the next couple of months. So I think that's the only thing I would suggest you all to do in the next few weeks so that you see that improvement. All right. Okay. So I think with that, I would like to close the session.